that we still have no motive for who was behind this attack. However, a referred to in the French media as an Islamist has been found at the scene. It all comes on the back of, if it does turn out that this is related to his Islamic is another event in what's been a series of very serious attacks in France over this year alone. The year with people driving cars into people at the at French Christmas markets. We then saw of the Charlie Hebdo attacks, the murderous attacks that took place at the magazine there, and also attacks on a kosher supermarket in Paris just in January of this year. So if this attack does turn out to be something to Islamic terrorism, it shows that it is another example of France being the victim of attacks. As I say, at the moment we have one person as killed, one person confirmed as beheaded, that's the same one, and several people have been injured as explosions were heard in the area of a liquid gas producing factory. All of the at the moment, of course, I'll be bringing you all of the any news here on RT, but yes, it does seem at the moment like with this Islamic flag being found at the scene that France has yet again been an attack from terrorist organizations of radical Islam.
All right, RT's Peter all over the news. Thanks very much indeed. In fact, I've got a couple of items on here now very quickly regarding the breaking news. Peter, thanks for that. A police source cited by RTL Radio saying that other attack
industrial gas. Now, according to local media, a decapitated head was attached to the grill of the entrance of the factory. This and employees saw it as they were starting to arrive this morning. This occurred just before 10 a.m. local time. Now, there are reports saying that the victim, the decapitated victim, was not an employee. Once again, this is according to Le Dauphin, which is local media there in the southeast of France. Now, the attack took place in Isère, there near Grenoble, and we have heard from the French Prime Minister Manuel Valls. He has ordered that for security to be stepped up at all sensitive sites there in Rhône-Alpes. Now, for more on this, I'm joined, we can speak with Louis Bernard from Laircake. Now, that's a security consultant firm. Louis, thank you very much for speaking with us. At this point, of course, details remain sparse, and we are getting information constantly coming in. Walk us through what we know now.
We do not know much. There could be one or maybe two attackers who stormed into this factory a little more than an hour ago, about an hour ago. What we know for sure is that an explosion has been heard. This is a gas plant of some kind, an explosion, and then this decapitated head that was found on the outer fence of the plant, which might have inscriptions in Arabic on the actual head, so a very barbaric act. One person was apprehended and is now in custody from the French police, but it might be there is another one involved who might or might not be injured. We are talking about two relatively serious injuries so far. This is what we know right now. The special forces of the police, the GIGN of the Gendarmerie Nationale, is now on the site. And that's all we know right now.
Well, that being said, we do know that Air Products, the factory where the explosion took place, we do know that it produces industrial gas. And we have heard a call from the French Prime Minister Manuel Valls to strengthen up security at sensitive sites. What more can you tell us about really security that we've already seen at sensitive sites here in France?
Yes, of course. Security was reinforced after the January terrorist attacks in a lot of places in France, in airports, in train stations, in places like that, places of worship, of course, some schools like Jewish schools, but not on factories. Maybe on some who have an industrial importance, like nuclear sites and stuff like that. They have had quite a reinforcement in security. That does not appear to be the case for this particular plant. But right now, the main fear, if you like, is that this attack is the first of a series of attacks. You can't rule out this possibility. And that's why the level of vigilance in the neighboring towns is right now reinforced.
Well, that being said, once again, we still have to say we are going on early indications in terms of all facts that we know at this point. But you did mention that it is believed at least one or two people taking part in this attack. And you mentioned now the vigilance going down the line. Of course, since January, since the terror attacks here in Paris, we have seen stepped up security and level measures there being taken. What do you think we could be seeing now as details come in the next few hours here in France?
Very hard to say. The police forces and the special forces there are going to try to talk to the person in custody. The main thing that we need to know is this an isolated incident, or is it part of maybe a bigger scheme? That's the only thing that matters right now. Is there more attacks to be prevented, or is it over already? Was he working alone, or does he have an accomplice? Is that person still on the loose, or one of the people injured? All this has to be cleared up as soon as possible for the extent of the attack to be known.
Louis Bernard, thank you very much for joining us here on this ongoing situation here in France. I want to bring in now France 24's Dipti Laurent, who joins me on set. Now, Dipti, of course, you are covering the story for us, finding out what we know, making phone calls. Really walk us through what we do know at this point.
Okay, the information is really sketchy for the moment. What we do know is a little bit about the company. The factory is called Air Products. It's an industrial gas and chemical company that's present across 50 countries in the world. It's one of the biggest providers of hydrogen and helium in the world, with over 50,000 employees. Now, I spoke to a police source earlier. He did confirm that this was an attack involving two people, two perpetrators who arrived in a vehicle that was filled with gas canisters. He refused to comment on whether those one or both of those assailants have been arrested, but he did confirm that an individual was decapitated on arrival. Now, going on further from that, there's a local paper down there called Le Dauphin, and this is according to their information. The victim's head was attached to the grill of the entrance to the factory just as the employees were starting to arrive, and this was just before 10 a.m. local time. And allegedly, the decapitated victim was not an employee. Now, France 24 also spoke to Lucy. She works at a department store of Galeries Lafayette, which was just 2 kilometers from the Air Products factory. And she said that they've not heard anything from the people, but they have been told to stay inside. And for the moment, it's business as usual for them.